heavy that night. Visibility less than zero, if that's possible. Not snowing as hard as now, but nearly. No warning light. Nothing. People sleeping, eating, drinking, just talking like we're doing, and bam, all over. Finished. Terrible wreck.
Snowing this bad, huh? Yeah, but then, of course, they didn't have signal systems like we have, or safety measures like we have. Did they, Joe?
No, I don't believe so. Of course, the worst wreck I ever heard of was told me by my dad when I was a kid. The fast mail was a train. The Southern Railway. The line, same as we're on now. You probably heard about it. The wreck of the old 97.
Casey Jones was the engineer on that, wasn't he?
No. Casey Jones had the cannonball.
Oh.
Joseph A. Brody had the old 97. Matter of fact, that was named for him. Funny thing.
What?
No, it's nothing.
What?
We weren't related to the Joe Brody I'm talking about. We just happen to have the same name.
Hey, where are we?
Well, it's almost 6:30. We're coming into Monroe. 15-minute stopover to change crews. Then Lynchburg and Danville. Arrived Danville at 8:25. All 97 never made it.
What did you start to say before? Funny thing what?
Oh, yeah. The story my dad used to tell about the 97. Carried a crew of 3. Was wrecked, as you know. They found 5 bodies in the wreckage.
What?
Yeah, found 2 more bodies in the wreck than was supposed to be on the train.
Well, how'd that happen?
A funny story. Strange, I mean.
Yeah? Well, tell us.
Okay. I told you I was named for the engineer on the old 97, didn't I, Joe Brody? Well, this is where he picked up the train, right here in Monroe, Virginia. Although it used to go all the way to Spencer. Train started further north from Washington Station. The day I'm talking about was a Sunday, September 27th, 1903. And here's what happened.
On a cold, frosty morning in the month of September, when the clouds were hanging low, 97 pulled out from the Washington Station like an arrow shot from a bow.
Morning, Joe.
Morning, Mr. Elkins.
Yeah, seems we got a little trouble up the line.
What's the matter?
She ain't running on time.
How late is she?
40 minutes at Rapidan.
Well, that's bad.
Joe, it's terrible. Old 97's never run a minute late since she went into service.
Don't you worry, Mr. Elkins. She won't be late on our division. I'll get into Danville on time. That's the kind of man he was, the Joe Brody I was named for. He was a proud man and the best engineer on the line. And he loved old 97. It was Joe who'd driven her down from the World's Fair at Chicago when she was on exhibit as the newest, most powerful engine in the world. And it was Joe who'd driven her over the Blue Ridge Mountains from Monroe to Danville ever since. The old 97 was Joe's baby. And in Danville that morning, his wife was expecting a real baby. A better than usual reason for getting to Danville that day. There was another man on that train who wanted real bad to get to Danville on time. Big Tom Jeter, the fireman.
Morning, Mr. Brody. Morning, Mr. Elkins.
Morning, Tom.
Morning, Tom.
I hear she's late.
40 minutes at Rapidan.
Well, today, my mammy and papa's been married 50 years. Their golden anniversary. I figured to get in on time today.
We will, Tom.
Whole family's gonna meet me at the station. Big greeting for the youngest child. Fireman for Mr. Brody.
We'll get there in time if you keep that fire going this morning.
I will, Mr. Brody.
Oh, here, Joe. I'll get your orders ready.
At Monroe, Virginia, saying, Joe, you're way behind time. This is not 38, but it's old 97. You must put her in Danville on time.
So there they were, the engineer and the fireman, each one with a special reason for wanting to get to Danville on time. And there was the third member of the crew, old Mr. Clovis, the clerk in the mail car. He had his reason, too.
Oh, morning, Mr. Clovis.
Morning, Mr. Elkins. Morning, Joe. Morning, Mr. Clovis. How's she running? Late. Late, huh?
Too bad. She had to be late, especially today, Mr. Clovis.
Oh, say, I'd forgotten. You were retiring today, aren't you, sir? Yes, this is my last run. Well, I'll try to make up the time for you, Mr. Clovis. Can't end 30 years of railroading behind schedule. I don't care so much myself, but I believe some of the gentlemen from the division office were going to meet the train in Danville. I believe there was to be a ceremony.
I know dang well there is. They're going to give you the prettiest gold hunting case watch in the Blue Ridge Mountains, all engraved. I saw it myself last week.
Well, that's very nice, but quite unnecessary. How's it feel to retire, Mr. Clovis? It feels fine, Joe. I'll step down to the platform, and from that moment I'll have nothing to do but die. Well, you can live, can't you, Mr. Clovis? Live for what? This is my life. What time is it?
Hey, Mr. Elkins, did you hear the news?
Oh, what news?
Them two fellas that had up the jailhouse, them two held up the bank over in Amherst and killed the teller.
What about them?
They broke out.
When?
Less than an hour ago. And split the turnkey skull open, walked out of the jailhouse big as you please. The sheriff's getting a posse together.
What for?
The figures are headed for the hills. Go and track them down with hounds.
If they're headed for the hills, they're crazy.
Why, Mr. Brody?
Well, if I was trying to make a break for it, I wouldn't take any chances being tracked by bloodhounds.
What would you do, Joe?
I'd head for the railway, hop the first train that came through. Now, across the tracks from the station agent's office and right near the water tower was a tool shack. And at that very moment we were talking about, these two killers were hiding there. Or at least that's the way I was told the story.
What are we going to do, Clint? We're in Monroe, Virginia. Town with 5 churches, 15 saloons, and a jailhouse. What are we going to do? You think a posse couldn't track us down if we took to the hills?
We ain't going to take to the hills, honey boy. We're going to take the old 97 right straight to Danville. At Danville, we got a man waiting for us. To put guns in our hands and tell us where to use them. Honey boy, when we get on that old 97, we don't have to worry about a thing.
Clint, you suppose you hit that turnkey too hard?
I hit him hard enough to knock him out.
You suppose you hit him hard enough to kill him?
What's the difference? We killed a man yesterday. We might as well kill another one today.
We didn't kill that teller, Clint. You did.
Listen, honey boy. Makes no difference who pulled the trigger. Understand me? No difference.
Sure, Clint, sure.
Here she comes. Come on, let's get out of here and wait for her.
They'll see us, Clint.
Nobody's gonna see us. They're all watching the train.
Why Pete's so late.
All right, Joe.
See you Tuesday, Mr. Elkins.
All right, Joe. Have a good trip.
Pretty, isn't she?
Beautiful.
Big Tom. He's in more of a hurry than I am, if that's possible.
To get to Danville and be presented with a gold watch.
What?
Here comes Pete.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Pete.
Hi, Joe. Mr. Clovis? Hello, Pete.
What's the delay?
Washout south of Rapidan. A section gang made up completely of numbskulls.
Wouldn't let you through?
No. Section boss was afraid the ballast wouldn't hold. Why, he'd had 6 hours to repair the track before we come along. Dang fool.
They come that way sometimes.
Sorry to hand her over to you like this, Joe. Don't see how you can make up the time.
I'll do my best, Pete, and still keep her on the rails.
Joe! Hey, Joe!
Yeah, Mr. Elkins?
Message for you from the station master at Danville.
Yeah. Excuse me, Pete. What's it say, Mr. Elkins?
It says, tell Joe Brody he'd better get 97 into Danville ahead of schedule if he wants to be here to meet the stork who is coming in on time. Dr. Glendenning is on his way out to Mrs. Brody now. Well, congratulations, Joe.
It's happening, and I'm not there. I promised Leland no matter what, I'd be there.
Well, you can't help it, Joe. Well, anyway, sometimes these things take more time than you'd think. You'll probably get there on time.
Not probably, Mr. Elkins. I will get there on time. Come on, Mr. Clovis, let's roll.
All righty, Joe.
You set, Big Tom?
Set, Mr. Brody.
Come on, then, let's go.
All right, Joe.
Got the time?
11:45. We're an hour late. Excuse me. Come on, let's go.
Wait. Let her get started. No one's paying attention to us.
Come on, Clint. Come on.
Give me a hand.
There. Grab the rung.
Got it.
Well, there they were. 5 men on old 97 when she pulled out of Monroe. The engineer and the fireman and the mail car clerk who were supposed to be there, and the 2 escaped killers who didn't appear on the manifest, and each and every one of them with an urgent need to make up that lost time. Pour on the coal, Big Tom. Pour her on.
I'm shoveling as fast as I can, Mr. Brody.
Give me all you got until we cross White Oak Mountain. And you can stand back and watch 97 roll.
I'm giving it to you, Mr. Brody.
Lynchburg down a 3% grade, ending with a curve and a sign, a big sign that said, slow speed trestle. Right ahead of that, the Stillhouse Trestle over Cherry Stone Creek. The run from Monroe to Spencer normally took 4 hours and 15 minutes, or did. And that day, they had to pick up an hour. And that's a lot of time to catch up on. Boys, shovel it in. We got time to make up on this one.
You sure gobbled that coal, Mr. Brody.
We picked up 10 minutes, Tom.
We can't get there too soon to suit me.
The party you were telling me about?
The Mammy and Pappy's 15th wedding day.
Give them my congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Brody. But they'll all be down at the station. You can tell them yourself.
I won't have time, Tom. I'm having a baby.
Huh?
Well, my wife is.
Well, congratulations to you, Mr. Brody.
Thanks, Tom. Pour her on there, boy. The gauge is dropping.
Yes, sir, Mr. Brody. Yes, sir.
Clint!
Yeah.
This train ain't going very fast.
She's climbing, honey boy. Wait till we get over the mountain, you'll see her go.
I don't like it. I don't think we ought to hop this train.
You don't like it? Just step off anytime you like to, honey boy.
Clint?
Shut up! Get off or shut up!
Joe Brody will get me into Danville in time for the exercises. 30 years today. It's a long time. Almost all of the time there is. And after the night, when the gentlemen say the kind things and smile and shake my hand, what? Tomorrow there'll be no train to climb aboard. Tomorrow there'll be nothing but the slippers and the pipe and the fire. Not as a reward after a day's run, but for what's left of my life. Sleep late every morning. Go fishing every day. Who wants pleasure all the time? never to ride old 97 again. Never to have a job to do. Never to be needed. They call it retirement. I think it's death. I wish we'd never get to Danville.
Made up 20 minutes so far, Tom.
So, I knew you would.
It's just one great engine, Tom. Look at that. 85 miles an hour and she isn't half out.
You going through Lynchburg this fast?
I'll slow her. I don't want to scare the folks.
You'll spoil all the milk for 5 miles around town. You barrel through here at 85.
We'll slow her to 70 then, huh, Tom?
Yes, I guess that'd be real considered, Mr. Brody.
Point out a few things to you. Joseph A. Brody was the best engineer on the line. He knew that road like his own hand. The fast mail, old 97, was a cracked train, not old at all. In perfect condition, carefully checked always, mechanically perfect in every way. Yet, it had a wreck. And here's why my dad's story makes some sense. Here's what must have happened. Now remember, the two killers were hanging on right behind the locomotive. We'll pick up the 8 minutes when we've crossed it.
Clint, he's slowing down.
Yeah, I feel it.
I wonder why.
97 doesn't stop between Monroe and Danville except for emergency.
Maybe there's an emergency.
Yeah, us. We're the emergency. Sheriff at Monroe telephoned ahead. I guess we skipped town on this train.
What are we going to do? We can't jump off.
See that hose?
Yeah?
That's the airline for the brakes. Hold my arm so I don't slip.
What are you going to do?
Turn that valve, honey boy. Shut off the air brakes. This train ain't stopping this side of Danville. There. The valve's tight. Gotta get this thing. There it is. That does it, honey boy. He ain't stopping now.
The brakes don't work.
Almighty!
Look, all the way back and nothing happens.
That's a chance, Mr. Joe.
Jump, Tom, jump!